Welcome to this week's Quick Charge. Paul told the Corinthian church, love is consistently kind. Now that's quite a big word in the original language. It means good-natured, active goodwill, spontaneous generosity. It means to provide something of benefit as an act of kindness in less than ideal surroundings and to less than perfect people. This is how we keep it real, because it's always easier to say than it is to do. It's easier to call Jesus Lord than to do what he commands. It's easier to make an outward show than an inward change. It's easier to clean up the outside than to be transformed on the inside. Jesus, when speaking of the Pharisees, said in Matthew 23, "Do what they say, but not what they do." Why? Because they were more adept at saying than doing. King David really modeled the kindness of God so well. In 2 Samuel 9, the Bible says David asked, "Is there still anyone from the house of Saul to whom I might show the kindness of God?" Now, we know that King David is a type of Christ. He's the shadow of the promised Messiah, that Jesus was born in the city of David as the son of David, given the throne of David, and he holds the keys of David. But David was also a type of believer. He served the purposes of God in his generation. He lived the life of a son, a servant, a shepherd, and a soldier. And he also demonstrated the true purpose and the place of kindness. Surprisingly, kindness is for the unkind, because David says his kindness was to be directed toward the house of Saul. Now that's mind-blowing, because the house of Saul was a house of trouble for David, was a house of threats and opposition, was a house of hostility and persecution. It was the house of his enemy, and it was the house of those who were trying to kill him and cut short his destiny. The house of Saul made the lion and the bear seem tame, and it made Goliath look small. This house was a source of pain and hurt and disappointment and sorrow and frustration for David. But this is exactly where kindness belongs. It's what it's for, and it's who it's for. Jesus said in Luke chapter 6, "If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who are doing good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do this. And if you lend to those from whom you would expect to take, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners in order to receive back the same." So since love is kind, if I'm just kind to the kind, there is no credit in that. Jesus said in Matthew 5:48, "How are you any different from others if you limit your kindness only to your friends? Don't even the ungodly do that." True kindness, God kindness, doesn't even kick in until it is expressed toward and shown to the unkind, because that's what it's for. Jesus, when speaking of the Father, said in Luke 6:35, "He is kind to the unkind and to the evil." Another version says God is kind even to people who are ungrateful. The Message says, live out this God-created identity the way that our Father lives toward us, generously and graciously, even when we're at our worst. Our Father is kind, you be kind. The whole purpose of kindness is to lavish it upon the unkind, that we might show how consistently kind God actually is. Someone once said, kindness is the love language that everyone understands. So to be kind to the kind is nice, but to be kind to the unkind is genuine love, and that keeps it real. Join me next week for more of Keep It Real. God bless.